Today my strategy for draft is draft hate, pick the cards that they need, and I'm expecting that people are going to want to be red with the swap Frieza. So I'm going to be taking all their negates, all their super combos, and I'm going to be drafting low cost cards. That way I can play while they sit over there and can't do nothing. And I'm picking green so I can pop all their shit.
I got that best draft strategy. Since I have a case, I'm just gonna put all my good pulls from my case in my draft pile, and there, I can't lose with the perfect deck. Problem solved.
Be a man and just say what your strategy is.
We just drafting that spice, you know. That's all I gotta say. Just drafting the spice.
So I'm gonna be talking into the mic. I don't want John to be knowing my strategy. This is how it's gonna go down. So the only leader you want to get for the draft is Red Frieza, because the other two guys are burst drafts. It goes slower, so you can end up just milling out. And then the other are Dragon Ball leaders, and you're not gonna get 7 Dragon Balls in the draft. Literally, that's the only leader. So I'm drafting straight red, but I have a feeling everyone else is going to as well. So if that doesn't work, I'll probably pivot to Bardock's crew, but I'm gonna try to go get the Frieza. That's my strategy.
So my strategy is I sold them all a bunch of stuff that they didn't want to buy first. Guess who has the money?
Yeah, let's do that.
What up, everybody? Back at you again with another episode of Scouter Report, some gameplay video for you guys. This is from a Clash of Fates draft event, actually, at our locals. We like to do draft right when the new sets come out so that people can learn the cards, and you could buy in, get 6 packs worth of cards for 20, 25 bucks instead of having to buy a whole box. So people that don't want to, go full in can get some cards and have some fun. If you haven't played Dragon Ball Draft, it's pretty cool. It's kind of, the game isn't super great for it, especially these kind of themed expansion sets. Kind of locks you into one leader or one archetype, and sometimes you don't get the right cards, but it can be a lot of fun. It's a great way to learn the cards and see how it works. So Alex and I had the exact same plan with our draft. We're going Red Frieza. I really like this leader. I really like the cards it came with. I think it's great. If you don't know what it does, you take a life, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, and grab a Frieza army. So you're plussing a card off your life, and you're plussing a card off of your deck without having to attack. That's the big thing, is you don't have to attack, and that's always great for certain plans. Like U7 Frieza does the same thing, can draw without attacking, and for control decks and decks that want to build without forcing, without giving your opponent hand size, it's a great effect. So we're going to play the 1-drop Frieza, which boosts your... Well, we played that last turn, but it boosted my leader by 5, which is great. Then we got the swap, which brings out this guy. He's just a 2-cost 15k that loses 5k on your opponent's turn. If you haven't played these new red cards, you need to give them a try. They're super fun. And the red swap engine is great. But you're able to put him out. You can just leave him. Some of the effects, you want guys on board. So we'll see. My strategy, actually, I ended up winning this tournament with this deck. I pulled the secret rare in draft, so it's a little unfair, but it is what it is. Get good, pull the packs. I also got 1 copy of the rare Frieza and 1 copy of the SR Frieza, so I had the entire chain. Not multiple copies of it, but it was enough. And then I kind of just went with four of every card that was Frieza. I don't think I put the Raccoon extra card in there. But Alex takes the life. Then he plays Frieza Spaceship. This card is the shit. So, play this card on the field. At the end of your turn, you play a 2-cost Frieza army from your hand for free. And the sick thing about this is you get to play those Ginyu Force cards. And then the Ginyu Force cards look at the top 5 cards of your deck, I believe, and then pull out another Ginyu Force card. So, Alex just passed turn, grabbed the birder, or played the birder, which grabbed the Raccoon. Now he has 2 guys on board ready for next turn, and I have to find out a way to deal with them. We'll see what I do. I just did the leader effect. We're going to swing with Frieza because we want to swap him out here, I believe. Alex is going to super combo out because he's at 5 life. These decks are really fun. If you guys haven't given this a try, definitely build this and test it out. So we're going to swap out. It's a 1-cost swap. When you play that card, it drains one of their dudes by 15. So I'm going to kill the birder here because birder's got critical, and I hate critical. Criticals is the worst. And this Frieza has barrier. So I believe I'm just going to leave him, let him sit out here, wait for the right moment to go up the chain even further. And we'll see what happens. I still got 2 energy left. Still got a leader. Swing lead. Let's see if there's a response. No response. Alex takes it. He's looking to get down to that 4 life, get a big hand. Wants to flip over because the Frieza effect on the other side is also really good. We're going to go ahead and play this sweet Dodoria card. What he does, he's a blocker. And when he dies, you play a 2-cost Frieza, specifically Frieza, out of your hand. It might be a red Frieza, I'm not sure, but check the card. It's either Frieza or red Frieza. But it plays it out of your hand for free, so you're able to block, let this guy go, defend to attack, and then snap back with a Frieza on board, ready for next turn to swap out into something bigger. So these decks are kind of swarm, swap, aggro, especially the Ginyu cards are a little more aggro than the Frieza cards. The Friezas are a little more control-y, but still aggro enough to move the game forward. I really like them. One thing that really screws with this deck is the blue feature rare Goku. So almost all of the Ginyu Force cards and most of the Frieza ones, except for the higher cost ones, are 2 or less. And so you won't be able to swing. We actually had one of the guys in the draft that drafted the red Frieza up against a dude who drafted the blue feature rare. He had, I believe, and this picture was on Facebook, I think it was like 15 cards on board, and not a single one could swing. And he had no way to get rid of that feature rare. The Recruit extra card is the way to get rid of it, but he didn't draft that because he didn't really know what that card was. So it's definitely one you want if you're doing this plan. You're going to need to get rid of that card. And I think most of the blue control decks are going to be running that card just to be safe and extend the game. So Alex is going to flip over, swing, get the draw. If you don't know what this Frieza leader does, he is able to kill, I believe it's a Frieza's Army card. So he KOs the Frieza's Army, and there's some cards that just does some interactions with, so like the Dodoria, if you KO it, will bring out a Frieza for free, which is pretty cool. And then Frieza himself gets plus 5k until the end of your opponent's next turn. So that's basically, you take that one card that was on board that you probably already swung with, and then make it essentially a Sensu Bean until the end of your opponent's next turn. I like to think of this as, you know, instead of just leaving that card out there and being able to combo with it once, you're going to be able to combo with it in every single fight in the next round, which is just, it's just pure value. And there's no reason not to do it. Well, there might be, but... And Zarbon is like the card to use it with. So that Zarbon card is, when it's KO'd, you draw a card, and then one of your opponent's cards loses 15,000. So you can KO, get a draw, and if you did it with the Frieza effect, you get that Sensu Bean plus 5k on your leader. So it's just a lot of effects built into one for costing you almost nothing. It's also, like, if you play it in a red deck, and I built a pan deck that plays some of these cards. It's pretty fun. But those Zarbons, they tend to stay on the field because people don't want to get rid of them to drain one of their guys by 15. Unless they have like a barrier card, then it's not that impactful. But if you leave those Zarbons out there, you get the draw off Pan. And then if you can drop the Fearless Pan on the board and they all get plus 5k double strike, like, it really punishes them for not wiping your board. So they have to make both decisions. If they wipe your board, you're gaining hand size and they're losing board presence. If they leave him on board, you're gaining board presence and potentially pushing harder on the snapback. So I think this card's pretty cool. So I go ahead and play Zarbon and a Birder. Let's see. I think I whiffed on a Ginyu Force here. put them on the bottom of the deck. I really like the cards that search the top 5 and put them on the bottom of the deck. Just can't stand shuffling my deck every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes. It's pretty ridiculous. And I finally get a Frieza spaceship, which is awesome. Not really sure how I got that Zarbon on board. I missed that part. Maybe you guys tell me if I messed up there. And tell us if we have any misplays in this. I know you guys always catch them and give us shit for it. But, you know, we play pretty casually in these. And also, this is draft, so neither of us had played these decks before. So if you catch anything we did wrong, let us know so we can learn. Definitely want to play this archetype. But if we're doing anything wrong, it's because we've, you know, drafted these cards and don't really know exactly what they're doing. But I'm sure you'll let us know. But these once you get Frieza spaceship out here, these decks to build a pretty fat board. And he's going to use 2 paralysis techniques. I love this card. So it's only good in this Frieza leader right now, but it's still pretty sick. So you play it, and then your opponent loses 5k on all their cards across the board. So he played it twice, brought all those 10k dudes down to 5, and then played it again and killed them. I may have missed the trigger on the Dodoria. Or no, because it's a drain, I don't get the trigger. It's not a KO, it's a drain. They changed the ruling on that. But, so the Zarbon, he should have lost a card there. Yep. Gonna get rid of the Raccoon. Lose one of his double strikers. That's from the Zarbon I KO'd with my leader effect. So you see my leader has the die there. He's got the plus 5k. And at the end of my turn here, using that Frieza spaceship, playing the birder, drawing a card. Then we look at the top 5 and see if we can find a Ginyu Force. So the amount of pressure this deck just brings is so awesome. Like, I got my board wiped pretty much, and then at the end of the turn, I get 2 more dudes. So if you have an opponent that doesn't have a way to clear boards, this deck just spirals out of control, and you're going to have just huge turns. I think it's probably my favorite deck from the Clash of Fates. I haven't played the other ones very much yet. I like a lot of the green cards that came in Clash of Fates. I think Preemptive Strike's really good. Chi-Li's pretty cool. That Vegeta card that comes out of the drop and gets dual attack and KOs, that guy's pretty sick. The Krillin Goku is also awesome. It's like a Vegito, but when it dies, you get to play the Goku, which KOs barrier, and just makes every lineage deck cry. Feels so good. Haven't messed with the blue cards too much. I think the feature rare is really cool. I like the idea of Bardock's crew. I just don't think it's quite as impactful as people were thinking it was going to be. The yellow cards seem pretty cool, and I actually think that the SR Piccolo has potential. And we'll see going into the next set if they keep making the Namekians a little better. I could see that thing getting crazy. But here, Alex uses the leader ability, kills that Zarbon. He's going to drain. I think he may have missed the draw off the Zarbon. I didn't see it there. But like I said, we're still learning these cards. Not perfect. But it still gets that KO, or the drain effect, which is always good. Still got 4 energy, 4 life. We're both at 4 life. Plays the birder, searches the top 5. See what he gets. More Ginyu Force? Yay? Nay? More Ginyu Force. Goldo. I think Goldo is just a barrier guy. He also searches the top 5, but it's only from hand, so it doesn't come on the deck, so you can't chain him out as crazy as it seems as first read. He's going to swing that 20k leader into mine. I'm going to hit him with that paralysis technique. Drain his entire board by 5. That's it. The paralysis technique really punishes wide boards because it's just going to cut you down and make you not able to really push in with them. And that's what I ended up doing. He kept giving a fat board, but taking those guys down to 5k really hurts. Either he has to lose a bunch of hand size to get in, go for damage, or he just has to pass, which is what he does. Going into turn 5 here. Both at still 4 life. Alex has got 6 cards on board, so that frees the spaceship. I got 2. Let's see what happens. Swing with Birder. I always like to put pressure on with crit early in the game, early in the match. If they have low hand size, sometimes it's better to wait, clear the board, make them decide if they want to save their board or not, then go in with crit. But generally, people don't like to take crit damage. It's pretty terrible to take crit damage. So using it early in the turn, I prefer to do. You swing with it. They either waste a negate that early, and especially with paralysis technique, you want the least amount of cards on board when they use that. So swing crit, force him to make a decision. I probably should have swung with that Frieza. I don't know why I didn't. I think I realized that. Like, oh, that was dumb. But we swap him out for 2, brings out a 5. That SR Frieza's pretty sick. It's got double strike crit, so that's amazing in and of itself. But it's also got the basically bloodlust on a card, so you're able to take a life once per turn, negate an effect when they play a card, which is pretty sick. So we'll give +5 to the leader here with that Frieza card, swap into the 2-drop. And one thing you can do with that 1-drop is you can sit there, play it, swap it out for nothing. I should have been swinging with that. I don't know why I wasn't. I don't know why I wouldn't just swing. Force him to do something. But that's, like I said, still learning these cards. So we're going to swing at lead here. This thing's got 25k double crit. He has to deal with that. He can't just let that run into him. So we'll swing. Get a draw. So that Frieza, if he goes to play a card, I can choose to take a life and basically bloodlust and blank that card in that moment. It's pretty cool. It's kind of expensive. It works really well against the... And I think probably what it was designed for was to counter the Krillin into the 5-drop Goku play. So you're able to kill the Krillin when they go to play that card, take the life, negate the Goku. He doesn't get the KO. And now he's kind of stuck with a Goku that's just sitting there. We're going to go ahead and pass to Alex here, I believe. He's got to clean up his fat board. He's only got like 7 cards left in deck or something. This game is kind of long. Neither of us being able, with so much defense on that KO card, get the +5k and the paralysis techniques, we just get a lot of stuff. So Alex is going to go ahead and use that Raccoon card. So that kills a 15k or less ignoring barrier, which is pretty cool. So he's able to get rid of my Frieza card without having to deal with it. Use that 1 energy. I think we're sitting here reading, trying to figure out what the timing windows are. It's a little tricky. I can't remember what exactly the card says. I think it's either when they attack. I know it's when it's played. It might also be when they attack, you're allowed to negate an effect too. I'll need to read that again. But if you've played these decks, let me know what you think. Like, are you liking Clash of Fates? I think it's really cool. I'm actually very happy with it. I've actually been really happy with all of the expansion sets. I think they're better designed than the kind of regular sets. I think the archetypes are more defined and a little cooler here. So he goes ahead, and I believe that's the Ginyu card that steals a card. And I use the effect on the Frieza to take a life. I do not want him stealing my cards or giving all his Ginyu force in the field plus 10k. Because then he's swinging with at least 2 double strikers at 20k and 2 crits at 20k. I do not want to deal with that with this much life left. Not enough combo power in the world to deal with all that, boys. Tough. He's down to 1 energy here. I'm also at 1. See what he goes for. He's going to start swinging for game, I think. No reason not to if he thinks he has more power, combo power. We'll see what I do. I'm going to go ahead and use another paralysis technique, which then drains his whole board. All those Ginyu Force are 10Ks, so when they go down to 5, it's real hard to push through and get that kill shot if I have any hand size. So I think Alex is in a tough position here. He's going to try to start clearing. No, he realizes they're all at 5. He doesn't want to push through. He thinks this one's at 10, so he's going to try to kill the birder here. Well, maybe not. See what he does. I believe Alex, after this game, was told me he was digging for that 5-drop Frieza, and he gets down to something like 3 or 4 cards left in deck, and it's one of the last ones. It's real painful. He's unable to negate any of my effects. So he's going to go ahead and KO that Raccoon since he already swung with it, and give his leader that plus 5k. It's always good. And something I haven't mentioned before is when you do that effect, you have to discard a red card, or maybe it's any card, but you have to discard a card to get the effect too. So it does hurt your hand size, but it does protect you for the next turn, which is always good. Now, a big decision here for Alex. Do you try to go in for game with all these 10Ks that are now 5Ks on board, combo up real high? He's going to go ahead and pass, use the Frieza spaceship, draw a card. I don't know what that card is. I can't see it. Sorry about the glare. But I don't know. And he's got, I think, like 3 cards left in deck right now. So the strategy I was employing actually this last turn was, I believe I have the nuts in hand, and I do, 5 costs. So I was trying to let him hit me enough and use enough effects to get me to 2 life or less without allowing him to kill me. So I was able to use that Frieza thing. I blow up his entire board here. Anything 40k or less, I go ahead and steal his super combo and send it to the drop. And this is why he wanted that 5k Frieza card. Because if he had that on board, he could have negated this effect, and this all would have been a moot point. But because he wasn't able to find it, not able to do it. So I go ahead and swing at lead. I know that he doesn't have enough combo power. Or actually, I know that the attack's not going to go through. So I just get the draw, and then I combo everything I have with this lead. So I know he has no negates and know he can't combo out of it. So quadruple strike, he draws into the thing he needed, but he doesn't have, and I win. I basically did this same plan all 4 rounds of this draft. A couple games were pretty close, but that secret rare was just unfair. Thanks for watching, guys. Secret rare too good. See you later. Bye.